Now,
All right, what are you going to jump into first?
what do we think of one Maxwell Jacob Friedman's little Pipebomb promo the show after the Double or Nothing event?
Well, I think it's very interesting. If it's a work, it's been brilliantly done because no one can really work out if it's a work or if it's real. I did read something as late as this afternoon saying that on the night he did that, there were the executives there from whatever the channel is that broadcasts it, and they've made it quite clear that they were upset about what he had said, and he's been pulled from the roster. His merchandise has been pulled. He's been taken off performing. And what else have they done? They've basically just black booked him the whole way through. So if you're doing that and it's a work, I think it's brilliant. If it's real, well, interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. You know, I'll agree with you, Pete. If it's a work, it's probably the best work in 20 years, reality, right? Talent-wise, if you were booking him, you would want to take this guy off TV. He's probably the best thing in wrestling today.
Okay.
I would say that. I would say that honestly. He's probably the best guy today. The way he wrestles, the way he works, the way he holds himself in the business, everything else. He's probably, and he's only young. He's only like mid-20s. So this guy's got a lot of room to grow, right? Absolutely. If it's not a work, I still question why would you pull him off TV? He's as hot as he's ever been. If you're going to make money out of this guy, time is to make money now.
Is he doing a CM Punk sort of thing that Punk did at WWE, won the title and did all his crap that he did? Are they sort of going along that line but doing it a wee bit differently? If it's rumoured he's being paid 60 to 70 grand a year and everyone else is being bought in on 4 or 5 or 10 times that, then he's probably got a legitimate beef.
Well, I believe so too. And I'll tell you what, Vince won't be paying him 40 to 70 grand a year. Vince will be paying him whatever he wants. Yeah. Literally. I mean, he is that hot at the moment. Can Tony Khan be this stupid? I don't know. Could you be, if you looked at his talent, if you put yourself in Tony Khan's position, right? Yeah. And you're watching this guy and working, and he's probably been the hottest worker for them for the last 18 months. Well,
the other thing, Mick, I'm just thinking, even as we're talking, and we'll talk about it shortly when we cover the pay-per-view, but with Cody out for 6 months now, because he's having surgery tomorrow on that torn pectoral.
We'd have to talk about that too, because that was a bit of a feat. If he worked out with a torn pec.
I've been watching wrestling since 1966, and I'll put that in my top 3 or 4 things I've seen, but we'll talk about that, as you said. But wouldn't he just be an ideal hot person to come in if Vince bought the contract out from Khan and put him on? I mean, Khan won't sell the contract.
No, and he's got until 2024, is it, Anthony?
Something like that.
Yes, 2024.
Right. So what are you going to do? Leave this guy sit on the shelf until 2024? I mean, it's ridiculous. He can make so much money for their company and get so many people in. Just now, if they brought him back, just run him against Punk. You don't have to drop the belt. Punk doesn't have to drop the belt. You just run him against anyone.
He's relinquishing the belt.
Yeah, or whoever gets that belt. Yeah. Run him against
talking about.
Put the belt on him and then wait for Punk to come back.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's money there, Peter. You'd be silly. You would be silly. And the first thing too, if you're paying this guy 40 to 70 grand a year with his work performance the last 18 months, 12 months ago, you should have pulled him to the side, burned his contract, and gave him, 250 grand a year to 300, and just said, "There you go, mate. I'm giving you a pay rise."
But this is what we want. Keep doing what you're doing, but stay on top of your game.
I'm not saying giving him millions straight up, but you would up his wage significantly and say, "Well, you're going in the right direction. Let's see what happens in another 12 months."
Yeah.
Not if they're keeping. I can't see a businessman being that stupid.
He's a bit of a mark, this Tony Khan, from what I gather.
He is, but even mark-wise, I mean, you just...
Yeah, well, sometimes, you know, it's a bit like the wrestlers. They start believing their own, own marketing.
I think he believes he's the best booker in the world. I think he does believe that. I think that, Uncle Dave convinced him now that he's the best booker in the world.
Yeah.
And he's not. You watch the shows are all over the joint. They have good anything that Punk's involved with, MJF, Danielson, any of those.
Moxley.
I'm not even a big Moxley fan. I think if you leave him to his own devices, he's just going to freaking well turn it into a backyard indie promotion.
Well, he's just
the guys that are professionals.
Contract.
Pardon?
He's Moxley's just renewed his contract.
That's amazing because I don't think Moxley's done anything since he's really come over.
Well, the CM Punk's title will be Moxley versus the winner of something that's going on, and it'll be Moxley versus whoever wins whatever match. Anthony might be more across it than I am.
All right, so I did look that up. So this is what it's looking at like in a moment. So apparently there will be a battle royal featuring many of the top competitors in AEW, which will open this week's broadcast of AEW Dynamite. Then that same night, the winner will face former AEW World Champion and number one ranked Jon Moxley in an eliminator match in the main event of Dynamite, with the winner advancing to compete for the interim AEW World title at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view on June 26th.
Yeah.
However, there's another little thing to it. On June 12th, at the New Japan's Dominion event for the historic Osaka Joe Hall, highly decorated NJPW stars and longtime rivals Hiroshi Tanahashi and Hiroki Goto will face off in an eliminator match for the interim AEW World Championship, with the winner also advancing to the Forbidden Door pay-per-view on June 26th.
In all honesty, I'm a big fan of Japanese wrestling. I am, and anyone that's known me for a long time knows that was a place I wanted to go to, Japan.
Mm.
And when I got there and I worked there and I had the opportunity, that's where I thought was for me, right? But nobody gives a rat's ass about Japanese wrestlers in America.
No.
That's not being racist or anything. It's just a fact. You're going to try and put that belt. I've never seen a Japanese wrestler hold a North American heavyweight championship do any good. So why are we even talking about New Japan? Why is that even in the conversation? I don't understand. I just don't get it.
Well, maybe
I honestly don't get it.
Maybe it's got something to do with the fact that aren't they doing sort of some co-promotion together?
Yeah,
so therefore it's keeping your business partner happy. It's giving them exposure. I can understand why you do it from a business point of view, but you just don't let the Japanese guy go over. You'd let Moxley go over.
You already know who's going to go over then. Yeah. Why not just throw him in there with like him versus Danielson, him versus MJF, JF versus Danielson? The list goes on and on. I mean, if you don't have MJF in this conversation after that promo, right? You're missing a golden opportunity.
It really is, and I think it's a good thing that it's got everybody talking, because no one really knows, is this one of the best works ever, or is this actually correct? And if it is correct, they've got a bigger problem than they realise.
And the other thing I liked about that promo, he really danced on the line of reality and fantasy.
Yeah.
Where he was quoting the marks and quoting the fans and quoting, and it was very, very well done. That's why it's the more I lead to it, it's a work. I don't think he could be that on the line of it, but he's got me fooled. So, I am absolutely convinced this may be the best bit of work in wrestling in the last, I don't know, maybe 20 years.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a better
other than the pipe bomb from Punk.
Yeah.
And I don't think even that pipe bomb was as good as this one.
No.
So
I was never a CM Punk fan personally, so
I didn't mind his work. He was all right. He wasn't like, I'd never say that he was the greatest thing that I've ever seen. I respected what he did.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, but I still think that MJF has probably blown him out the water with that one.
Mm.
To the point that Punk come down to the ring, wanted to friggin' well talk to him, try and get the rub off the whole situation.
Yeah, he came down with one boot on and one boot off or something and all.
Trying to get the rub.
Now, again, if it's a work, it is absolutely brilliantly orchestrated.
Yep, that's right. Whoever's done it.
You know, where Punk comes out and I've got one shoe off, so I've heard this and I've come down, out of the dressing room. I remember something years and years and years ago, and I can't think exactly who it was. And actually, it was back in New Zealand when I was still there, and On the Mat was on. And there was something going on, and someone was getting triple teamed, and one of the Americans who was down there, flew out of the shower. He just had his trunks on, but he flew out of the shower, wet, bare feet, to come in and make the save and all of that. And it was brilliant the way they did that. I remember that.
I think the problem with wrestling today, it's like someone's getting beaten up, and then my music hits, then I run out to save them. That doesn't happen in a real fight. If you're in a pub with some mates and your mate gets jumped, you just jump straight in. You're not waiting for your music to play or anything else.
I mean, you don't have to be half smart to say, well, shit, they've got the music queued up, ready to go, and they know it's coming.
That's why it's better to do it as you were saying, that then with the guy walking out, and as the way CM Punk come out, and the way MJF took off.
Yeah, so
any contact. So I think it's a work.
I do too, but
and it's the best bit of business that's been done for a long time.
Well, it's got everyone talking. That's all you want.
You
want people talking all around the bloody world because it's promotion. You can't buy that sort of promotion.
Yeah.
Or ads marketing. So I think that was really good. So I suppose time will tell, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. So I think that's where we're at with that, with the MJF and that situation with Tony Khan. And if Tony Khan has booked this or allowed this to be booked, it's a bit of genius on his part. If he hasn't, he's lost the rudder to the ship. He's in trouble. So, so we don't know exactly what's going on now.